Good afternoon, Manville community. This is Dr. Maroun, and I'd like to give an update on the 2024-2025 Manville School District budget. During this presentation, we are going to focus on our objectives, highlighting that there is no tax increase in the 2024-2025 budget, going through our budget calendar, the budgeting process, our revenues, appropriations, cost drivers, and highlight key items in our 2024-2025 budget. The first thing of note is that there is no school tax increase this year. The tax levy, due to the increase in state aid, will remain flat at $15,656,016. This will be the seventh consecutive year of a zero increase, and we are very proud to be able to bring the community a flat school budget again. Our calendar. The school budgeting process is dictated by the state of New Jersey, and some of the key items that we want to mention is that on February 28th, the governor gives his address. On March 1st, the state aid numbers are released, and this year, on March 20th, the Board of Education approved the preliminary budget. On March 24th, at the Board of Education meeting, there will be a public hearing on the school budget. All are invited to join us and ask any questions they may have. Our budgeting process. As we determine how we are going to budget for the following year, the first thing we have to take in consideration is what are our revenues. We have to look at our tax levy, our state aid, our federal grants, all of our miscellaneous revenues that come into the district. From there, we determine our estimates and expenditures, and those are driven by our salaries, our debt services, our contracts, our expenses related to running the school, including tuition, transportations, utilities, and all of the materials, resources that our students need to be successful. From there, we balance our budget. We compare our revenues to our expenditures, and we use the board and the district's goals as a guide to determine our priorities as we're adjusting our expenditures. Our revenues. One thing we want to mention is the board has an authority to levy a tax increase. However, again, we are not raising school taxes in this budget year. According to statute, the board can increase the school tax levy by up to 2% plus allowable adjustments as determined by the enrollment and healthcare cost increases and bank taxing authority. In Manville this year, our projected and revenues are going to drive our budget. And again, there is no tax increase, which you will see in our projected revenues. Again, no tax increase. It will remain flat. The next line item is our required fund balance. These are the funds that we are required to put into our savings by the state of New Jersey. The next area is our increase in state aid. This is made up of various revenues, including the state aid related to special education, transportation, security, and our equalization aid. The next bucket is our federal dollars. We receive federal dollars through an initiative with Medicaid called SEMI. And we also receive federal programming aid in terms of ESEA, IDEA, title funding, and so on. You'll see that this line is a little less than the previous year, and it's for budgeting purposes. We always budget less because we don't get the federal aid until later in the year. The next line item is our preschool aid. Preschool is a program that exists within our budget, but outside of the school funding formula. So preschool is funded through the state of New Jersey, and we received this amount of dollars for our preschool program. So we'll be receiving $3,424.20 or $3,424.26 in state aid. Our prior year encumbrances are expenses from the previous year that we are still paying, and we are assuming that they're all going to be encumbered and fully paid. The next line is our total operating budget with our capital reserve. And within our capital reserve, we intend to make a purchase. So this is our total operating budget without our cap reserve. So here you see our operating budget, and please take a moment and review this slide. As far as projected revenue, one of the things that we want to mention, our tax levy makes up only 30% of our projected revenue, and almost 65% of our revenue comes from state aid. Appropriations. Our appropriations are the various ways that we are intending to spend the money and how we are allocating the funds. The first area that we anticipate our appropriations are in salaries. This budget, you'll see an increase due to our anticipated salary increases through our negotiations with our various associations, as well as new positions. We intend to include 3 new ELL teachers to support our greatest area of need within the district in Manville High School and at Weston School. We also intend to add an English teacher at Manville High School since English has a 4 year graduation requirement, and we want to reduce class size. We are adding an ABIS cycles teacher to reduce class sizes and to allow our students to have additional cycles in ABIS. Also, we intend to provide Tier 3 supports through the addition of a math interventionist and an ELA interventionist. We also are adding special education teachers for district wide to support and meet the needs of our students. We are going to be adding a counselor at Manville High School to again meet the needs of our students and their mental health. We are planning on adding a gifted and talented enrichment teacher district wide who will work with our students in an enrichment program. A BCBA, this is a second person to provide support for our teachers in an area. A BCBA is a behaviorist, so this is somebody who's going to work with students with behaviors. We are also adding a speech teacher who will serve primarily our preschool program, which will free up our speech teachers who are working with that program currently to continue to serve our students district wide. We intend to add another district security monitor who will provide more additional security in our buildings. And we are going to be adding 3 instructional assistants who will be full time. As well, in this line, we are anticipating our leaves of absences. We want to congratulate all of our staff members who are expecting, but we have to budget for their time off. And our anticipated retirements, as well as our stipends, our hourly rates, and all of the funds that we use to pay salaries in our district. The next line is our benefits lines. This area is where we pay for our pension, our tuition reimbursement. This is how we pay out our sick time, our retirements, and there's an increase in our healthcare costs and dental costs that we budget into the expense. Next is our tuition program. Our tuition program covers a variety of expenses for students who go out of district. The first program that our students go out of district for is our partnership with the VOTEC. We have many students who attend VOTEC, and we provide tuition for them to attend. In addition to that, we have students who are attending RVCC, Raritan Valley Community College, where they're taking a variety of courses, including makeup, artistry, and design, advanced manufacturing, and health sciences. For the students who are in health sciences, which is a new program for us, they will be learning how to advance in the medical field, where they'll earn stackable credentials and will be able to work in a hospital when they graduate. Finally, we have students who are attending out-of-district special education programs and out-of-district behavioral programs that we cover the expenses through our tuition line. Transportation. Transportation is clearly a challenge for all school districts. The cost of transportation continues to increase, and we maintained our budget lines to support our transportation costs. In here, we cover the cost for our academic program and our athletics, and we're continuing to work on plans to offset the cost through hiring of staff to help reduce some of our expenses. The next major area is our operations and facilities. In operations and facilities, we budgeted for our general maintenance and general operation facilities of the buildings. And then we have many of our summer projects and projects that we intend to complete are in the budget here. Some of the key projects that we intend to begin and do in the coming school year is an ABIS HVAC project to provide air conditioning in the gymnasium, renovations to 1600 Brooks Boulevard, which will become administrative suites for our administrative team, which will allow us to free up classrooms. And that's the key for the purchase, is to free up classrooms for our students in Manville High School and Alexander Batchko Intermediate School. So we are going to be paying for the renovations of those classrooms so that our students will be able to move in on the first day of school next year. This is going out through a bid process, and we will be hopefully opening and assigning the bid at our next board meeting. We also intend to have groundskeeping and lawn services to maintain our grounds and beautify our schools, and a Mason dump truck. In addition to that, we have a variety of summer projects and projects that we'll complete during the school year. You could take a moment and pause the screen and review this list. Some key items that we do want to mention is that we're going to upgrade some of the doors throughout the district, lighting in the sports fields where it's the dark between the football field and the track and the gymnasium. We're going to upgrade the high school faculty room. We're going to do some locker upgrades in our high school, replace carpet tiles at Roosevelt, upgrade our heating and cooling and ventilation systems throughout the district, fix some bike racks, pave Anka Street as far as the sidewalk, renovate our Weston school nurse, his office, and there's going to be a variety of bathroom upgrades throughout the district. Next is our purchase services. In our purchase services, we have a variety of partnerships that we utilize to support our students. Some of these partnerships include our OT-PT programming, but one key area that we are going to be expanding significantly in our district is our partnership with Rutgers University Behavioral Health Center. This partnership provides mental health services for our students currently at Manville High School and helps out with our students throughout the district. Next year, we will be expanding so that we will have a behaviorist and a clinician from Rutgers UBHC at ABIS School full-time and split between Weston and Roosevelt. Then the staff member at Manville High School will be able to dedicate themselves to Manville High School, and the team can work together to support the mental health needs of our students. This is incredibly important given the needs that our students have. Finally, all special ed students who are preschool are entitled to a free public education through the general operating budget. Some funds were allocated for those students here to pay for their seats in our preschool program. Next are our general supplies and textbooks. In general, we increased our curricular supply line so that we could provide our teachers with the supplies that they need, replacement of tech and science items, instruments, risers, and other items throughout the district to meet the needs of our students and their programs. Beyond that, we intend to upgrade our district-wide walkie-talkies, our AEDs, our security cameras, and phones throughout the district. We will be upgrading those cameras in places so that we can continue to eliminate blind spots and ensure a safe school environment. We are increasing our maintenance, custodial, and facility supply line just for the basic necessities that are needed to keep a school healthy and clean and safe. We're adding textbooks and supplies for band, art, drama, and athletics. And one key item to notice about the textbooks, last year we budgeted quite a few of our funds through our ESSER grant, and this year we are budgeting it through our general operating funds. Preschool. One of the things, again, I want to mention is that our preschool program is a separate entity in terms of funding. It comes through a separate line in the state's budget. However, we include it in our school budget when we talk about appropriations. Preschool is fully funded and universal for all of our students, grades who are 3 and 4 years old. However, we do have a waiting list in seats. Any student or family that has a 3 or 4-year-old interested in signing up for our preschool program should sign up. Registration is currently available on our website, and we will be holding our lottery later this year. And this budget covers all of our expenses related to our preschool program, including salaries, benefits, the cost to provide providers, and our supplies. Next is our federal grants. As I mentioned earlier, our federal grants are budgeted less than the actual number. And these are our title grants, our Title 1, 2, 3, and 4. Title 1 provides additional supports for our students, including our summer programming. Title 2 is for professional development for staff. Title 3 services our multilingual students. And Title 4 is used to supplement some of our costs in our Title 1 programming. As well as our IDEA, which is our funding for special needs students. So we anticipate 10% less in this line, and when the federal dollars come in, we will adjust. Our next area is our capital expenses. The capital expenses are significantly less this year at 79.64%, and they are less due to the fact that last year we used our capital expense to pay off the one-year note in our zero tax dollar referendum. This year, we'll be using the $875,000 to purchase 1600 Brooks Boulevard, which we're very proud to report is currently at the governor's office and awaiting approval. So this is our appropriations for our budget. Please take a moment, pause the video, and check it out. When we look at our appropriations, one of the items that was key to us as a school board is to provide the public with an understanding that we are building a healthy, sustainable budget over time. In our budget, salaries and benefits make up 61% of our budget, and we have 40% that is remaining for other expenses in our district. Revenues versus appropriations. One of the things that we do when we make our budget is we take our projected revenues, And then we make sure that our appropriations match up, which they do. And that's how we balance our budget. So the key takeaways from this year's budget are: there's a 0% tax increase for 7 years in a row. This budget will allow us to expand in a responsible way to provide essential programming and services to all students in grades PK to 12. This budget will also allow us to lower class sizes, both in our gen ed programming as well as our ELL and special ed programming. This will increase supports for students and staff in ELL and special ed. This will add additional student supports, especially student supports focused on mental health for our students. And one of the things that we're very proud of is that there are $4 million worth of facility upgrades, which help us meet our goals of improving the school grounds. So that is our budget. And the key is no school tax increase. Thank you. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, Dr. Maroun, or come and join us at the board meeting on April 24th. Thank you and have a great day.